educated.
All right, man. We got Drew Petzing, Lahire, and Chris Long is about to speak on the former NFL player, son of Howie Long. Let's go.
I think this actually makes more sense than people think. He doesn't have a splash face and name, like it's not a splash hire, but I think it's going to work. I do. If they can get the personnel right, because if you know anything about Arizona the last couple of years, in 23 and 24, and you could chalk a lot of it up to James Conner, but they were elite running the football. Mm-hmm. And this year, you lose your whole running back room. You have 10 plus O-line combinations. I just think most people were like, this guy, didn't they suck this year? I think there are tight end usage proclivities that are definitely going to play well. And they want to put 13 on the field. Like, that's what they did. Like, I don't know of too many teams that ran more 12 and 13 than Arizona. And then I found this nugget, too. The goal-to-go stuff for Detroit this year was terrible. I think they were 27th in successful play percentage in the low red, that being 10 and in, the way I'm defining it. And then in the Cardinals through 23 through 25, they were top 10 in those spots. So, like, I think that's a big thing. Like, Detroit just had trouble in some areas that they were really good in, namely, like, the zone runs this year. They suck. Now, I know that Petzing's like a gap scheme guy and you're going to run more counter, but I also think they want to kind of get back to what they do well. And then this is the most diabolical one, Kev, that I saw was Petzing was in Ben Johnson's wedding. So that's a fucking psychological power move, dude. Ben Johnson he's getting the squeeze put on him. They fucking hate him in Green Bay. LaFleur hates him. LA, the Rams, I don't think McVay likes him because of what he did to LaFleur. And then Dan Campbell hiring his groomsmen, that's a mind fuck. You basically delete that friend. The Petzing hire. I think this actually makes more sense than people think. He doesn't have a splash face and name, like it's not.
He's 100% right. The Lions want to be under center. I hear people talking about, well, Kyler Murray, he did. Then the fans say he messed up Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, he was able to he was able to, how can I say it, adjust his offense to Kyler Murray because, you can't be under center that much with Kyler Murray. So he's shown the ability to be able to make this work. Okay? He's shown the ability to be able to be flexible, but ultimately what the Lions and what Chris Long is trying to say and what the Lions are trying to say is that the Lions want to get back to their physical identity. That's all he's saying. The Lions want to get back to their physical identity. That's it. They felt like last year where we fell off at is our physical identity. Now, one layer of that is to the fact that, they lost the offensive line. There ain't nothing he can do about that. That's going to be adjustment for him to break in those offensive linemen and Detroit, the new ones that they do get. But also is going to have help if they go on two tight ends, heavy sets. That's going to ease the transition of those offensive linemen because they're going to have more protection. When you under center, that allows the quarterback to keep his eye on the defense, and see any last second changes that the defense are doing. That's the benefit. When you a shotgun, you got to take your eye off the defense and you got to watch the ball. So being under center has a lot of benefits to it. I think it's better for the run game. The running back get to have momentum. They're probably going to find a fullback somehow, somewhere. And, I just think he's just here to really, everybody want the high fly, the sexy. They want the sexy high fly throwing. Bro, they got to be effective. And Jared Goff ain't that type of dude that's going to drop back and throw the ball 1,000 times a game. That's just not it. You know what I'm saying? So in reality, I think this is a great fit for the Lions. They need to get back to power football. They need to get back to their ferociousness. They need to get back to putting the hat on the hat, and then you can get into your finesse bag. But you gotta, you watch that Denver and New England game, you gotta always know in the back of your mind that can be that can be your playoff run. That can be your playoff run, or be on your playoff run stop. Being, having to go outdoors, and guess what? When you able to put a hat on a hat, when you able to run the ball, be heavy, that travels anywhere. That mentality travels anywhere. But when you a cutesy throw it around the football team, you don't even get explosive plays. What happened if you run into this shit? Honestly, what happened if you run into the snow, or you run into bad weather? What happened if you run into bad weather? Guess what? When you run that ball, you play smash mouth football. Hey, you prepare for it. You want to play bad smash mouth weather. Then also, it's already been a culture created by Dan and Ben Johnson, and where, if we don't run the football, I mean, if the receivers don't block, then hey, you can't play here. There's already been a culture created here, so he's gonna have some receivers that's experienced and that's gonna be willing to block. And like I said, people are not receptive to it in Detroit because they don't know anything about the guy. They wanted names. And you hear somebody say, well, he got fired. The head coach got fired. What are we talking about? He didn't get fired. The head coach got fired. They had to move on. He said 12 or 13 personnel does not fit our personnel. Tesla won't see the field. J-Mo will sit. You can do the basis of your offense can be 12 personnel. That's fine. 13, that's fine. That don't mean they're gonna be in it all the time, that you won't see 3 wide outs, 2 wide outs. Ben Johnson did a lot of the same shit. What are we talking about? I just don't understand. Except the Lions don't have to. What you talk about? Ben Johnson routinely put out Brock Wright and Sam Laporta. What are we talking about? What are we? Like I said before, I'll stand up with Amon Ross St. Brown said. These fans are dumb. Every once in a while, you come around a fan that's pretty that know what most of these fans are dumb. I know on my other channel when I used to let people come on the panel, bro, I used to tear them to shreds. They don't know shit, bro. I'm telling you, most fans got all this information, watch all this football, and don't know absolutely nothing. But hey, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, check out the Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Hit the link tree, the first thing in the description. Follow me everywhere. Peace.